Please give a Maui Live welcome to our dear poet, W.E. Briggs.
The Molokai You say I sank my boat, old friend, but I swear it isn't true. What happened on that dreadful day is known to but a few. It really came down in this crazy town when the rainbow hit the reef. Some friends offered solace. Some friends offered grief. Those who jumped off base like you and accused me of the act before waiting for the evidence just stabbed me in the back. When the rainbow died and I heard inside, you played the traitor's role. Instead of standing by a friend, you just added to the toll. But now it's time to tell the tale for all the world to hear about the mighty rainbow, about our magic year, about the sea and living free and struggling for success. The rainbow made no money, but her charters were the best. The rainbow was a trimaran, Lahaina's roadstead was her home, and I, her faithful captain. Together we would roam, or to Molokai we'd usually fly. To catch us was in jest. No one passed the rainbow. She was the Molokai Express. Ah, she was a gorgeous gal, truly a sailor's dream. She owned the route to Molokai, with trade winds on the beam. Wood under glass and built to last, she sailed like a graceful dove. More than just a sailboat, the rainbow was my love. The rainbow was a part of me, just as close as my tattoo. The owner held her papers, but to me her heart was true. For a vessel at sea's not a chattel to me. She offers a way of life. And the only way to treat her is to love her like a wife. A boat requires a lot of love. She asks for a little more. So just love her and respect her and keep her away from shore. When there's a lull, best scrape a hull and keep her in good trim. For when you sail the ocean, shore is a hearty swim. You claim to be an ocean man, yet you seldom leave the shore. One can't really see the movie outside the marquee door. A true sailing man distrusts the land, especially in a storm. He'd rather know the ocean's roar than live in a four-walled dorm. A sailor's life ain't easy, though it is its own reward. It can take you low as a big bass drum, and to heights no eagle soared. When times get tough and the rowing rough and he spins in a weathered sea, a sailor's got a special edge that comes from living free. For a sailor's life is a damn good life as he spends his days in peace. With karma as his only mantra, her fountains never cease. He can sail up high where albatross fly, or dive where the humpbacks roam. He needs no other diamonds. The ocean is his home. Money doesn't matter to a sailing man. It's worthless without a shore. A trade wind breeze and a trolling line equal walking to the store. Far away from land and its greedy band that chase the paper buck, he lives his life in aces, leaving nothing up to luck. Boat owners are of a different breed. I'm not sure I understand why they claim to love the ocean, yet spend their time on land, while Rainbow and I through the channel would fly before bowing at Molokai's gate. She hung out back in Oakland with dreams of real estate. The owner dreamed of buying things and adding to her hoard, while we suffered through the tourist slump. Her vessel she ignored. When we needed things like cleats and springs or a shroud to hold the mast, our letters went unanswered. Our priorities came last. The Rainbow did a yeoman's job. I couldn't have asked for more. We'd tow a little dinghy as out to sea we'd soar. When the waves looked mean and their tops turned green, in a frothy wake she'd lay, we turned tourists into sailors and showed them a magic day. The Pailolo Channel's not your average sail. It's not a rookie's cruise. For if you fail to heed her warnings, it's more than time you lose. Stay on your toes, for the lady knows when to send your special wave. And best that you sail humble. She can send you to your grave. Yet to know her is to love her, and to love her is to sail upon her crystal waters with spray against the rail. She loved the rainbow, she held us to her breast. Once you sailed the rainbow, you sailed the Molokai Express. But the rainbow's days were numbered, and though I didn't know it then, although the owner was my partner, she never was my friend. She promised me that I would see a business half in my name. Instead, I got the royal shaft and almost took the blame. She refused to fix the mooring, though I warned it wouldn't hold when she finally came to Maui with our future to unfold. Instead, she smiled and grabbed the pile we'd saved to fix the boat. She dumped it in the pyramid scam and then began to gloat. So finally one day I told her off when I'd lost all my respect for her greedy ways and arrogance and acts of gross neglect. You love yourself and all your wealth, but care for little more. You're not a woman of the sea, just a yachty from the shore. Well, naturally she fired me. What else could I expect? But my plans and dreams weren't over. My future wasn't wrecked. I did as asked and moved real fast to another boat nearby. Finding another backer quick left little time to cry. But cry I did one gloomy morn, just shortly after dawn, when I looked for the lovely rainbow. I saw that she was gone. 10 days had passed since I'd been there last, days that were filled with grief. It was then I turned and gave a cry when I saw a rainbow on the reef. Things got a little crazy. Things got a little crazy then as I planned out what to do. My Siamese cats were on that ship. Had they made it through, they both could swim if not done in. Or were they on the boat where Rainbow rested hard aground with nothing left to float? With a sailing friend named Woody, I risked the treacherous reef. When we rowed up close, we found the cats, much to my relief. But the boat itself on a rocky shelf was a sight that hurt my soul. The hull where once I sat and wrote had now a gaping hole. Where once I sat and dreamed of isles that someday I would see, a coral had protruded through and cast its gaze at me. A coral head, oh, my boat was dead. No more oceans would we steer. Although she died a cruel, hard death, at least my karma's clear. The mooring line chafed through, no more. That's what the divers said. All I know is the other side, that the mighty rainbow's dead. You called me out with an ugly shout about the evil deed. You thought I'd go to prison, but through justice I've been freed. You see, a sailor wouldn't sink a boat and sail back out to sea, for the karma of his tragic deed would weigh too heavily. He'd turn and run like the setting sun if he'd really done the act. Karma is his reflection. She's riding on his back. You said that I'm a pirate. You claim that I know good. But pirates have their standards just as any sailor should. Sure, pirates fight when they think they're right, and maybe we do raise hell. I can't recall all the crazy times, but I've never seen a cell. A pirate need not be evil to fight for what he feels are basic crimes against mankind, like killing whales and seals, or drunken spats with harbor rats where beer flows like the sea. Be I a pirate or a poet, it's a sailor's life for me. There's little more you need to know about that tragic day. I've folded up my aces with one more thing to say. You've heard the tale of our famous sail, so I'll bring it to an end. But I lost more than just a sailboat. I also lost a friend. Rock the boat gently. Wow. I wrote this poem under the name Coconut Joe, because Coconut Kenny wanted his privacy. He didn't want to be known for this.
Oh.
But he is, I'm sure, passed by now. And this was one of my dear friends in life, and I want you to know the real story, so I'm going to use his real name. It's Coconut Kenny.
Okay.
Uncle Sam tells many stories as he waves red, white, and blue. Here's one he's not told yet, and you can bet that it is true. It was back in Nam in '67. The war was cooking then. The 7th Cav was called to battle. You may remember them. Hill 714 was this Custer's dream, where the Army'd been outflanked. And if he could free the beleaguered men, he'd win a general's rank. As the 7th Cav trudged forward, the strain began to tell. 3 days in the jungle, with the VC raising hell. Coconut Kenny had taken point, a rifle in his hand, but his thoughts were of his family, back in Michigan. Then the Vietcong sprang their clever trap as their guns began to roar. The 7th Cav was soon surrounded, and the VC slammed the door. A call went out for air support. Help was on its way. Coconut Kenny began to mutter, "Shh," and here's what he had to say. "Damn your ass, George Custer, get your head out of the sand. I ain't no friggin' soldier, just a God-fearing Irishman. You've led us into slaughter ever since you took command." When did the men of the 7th Cav finally find their promised land? 6 Phantom jets came swooping in. They dove low for their first pass. They dropped napalm on the 7th Cav, torching the elephant grass. The amazed VC just held their place as the 7th Cav was torn. Another Army screw-up, another little bighorn. It was a short-lived battle. The Phantom jets did their best. And while the U.S. pilots dropped their death, the VC did the rest. As the battle raged around him, a lot of brave men died. The 7th Cav was wiped out again, and Coconut Kenny just cried, "Damn your ass, George Custer, get your head out of the sand. I ain't no friggin' soldier, just a God-fearing Irishman. You led us into slaughter and destroyed our faithful band." Now 300 men of the 7th Cav finally found their promised land. Yes, damn your ass, George Custer, only 4 of us made it through. You and your friggin' Army are a bunch of goddamn fools. You led us into slaughter and destroyed our faithful band. Now 300 men of the 7th Cav have finally found their promised land. Rock the boat, Jim. This is called Heroes of the 60s.
Oh.
Those who hold the power despise folks such as me, because I believe in Camelot and a land both rich and free. We never sold our values for a Bentley or a Rolls, and we didn't bring you Reagan. We brought you rock and roll. We're the heroes of the 60s. We stood against the tide. Some of us died in battle. Some just died inside. The promise of America was never ours to hold. But we didn't bring you Reagan. We brought you rock and roll. We taught you peace and harmony. We brought you back from war. You taught us greed and righteousness and ever so much more. You preached about the bottom line. Now the poor will pay the toll. You played with the devil while we played rock and roll. Now Georgie's left the White House saying the economy will make it. But if you have a soothing drug, it's best, my friend, you take it. America sold for dollars because the unheads had no soul. They bowed down for false promises while we played rock and roll. Rock the